Imagine a bank account that rivals the GDP of entire nations. We are talking about a net worth hovering around $100 billion. She is the richest woman in the world. While her family built the largest retail empire in human history, she chose a different path. But do not mistake her silence for weakness. She is the quiet guardian of a dynasty. Who is she? To understand her story, we must first understand the scale of her reality. If she spent $1 million every single day, it would take her nearly 200 years to run out of money. She is the heiress to a fortune that changed the way the entire world shops. But unlike the typical billionaire narrative filled with hostile takeovers, tech startups, or Silicon Valley drama, her wealth is rooted in something tangible. It is rooted in the everyday low prices that her father championed. She owns a massive collection of art worth hundreds of millions. She owns ranches in Texas that stretch as far as the eye can see. She moves through the world with the kind of power that doesn't need to shout to be heard. But having this much money places a target on your back. It creates a life of isolation, where true friends are hard to distinguish from opportunists. Before she became the queen of art, she was just a girl growing up in the shadow of a giant. While her three brothers were being groomed to take over the family business, to learn the logistics of supply chains and stock margins, she was different. The noise of commerce didn't appeal to her. The endless rows of shelves and the ringing of cash registers felt like a cage. From a very young age, she found her escape in color and form. While her father was obsessed with saving pennies, she was obsessed with beauty. At just 10 years old, she bought her first piece of art, a reproduction of Picasso's Blue Nude. She bought it with the money she saved from her allowance. It was a small act of rebellion, a signal that she saw the world differently. Her father, the legendary founder, didn't discourage her. In fact, despite his frugal reputation as a man who drove an old pickup truck, despite being the richest man in America, he understood passion. He taught her the most valuable lesson of her life. Do what you love, but do it better than anyone else. She took that advice to heart. But the road to finding herself would not be paved with gold. It would be paved with pain. We often look at billionaires and assume their lives are perfect. We assume money buys immunity from suffering. We are wrong. In her early years, she faced physical trauma that would have broken a weaker spirit. She suffered a severe automobile accident in Mexico during a Thanksgiving family trip. The crash was brutal. It left her with a shattered leg and a long, agonizing road to recovery. For a woman who loved the freedom of riding horses and the outdoors, being confined to a hospital bed was a prison. She had to undergo dozens of surgeries. The pain was constant. The recovery took over a year. It was during this dark period, staring at the ceiling of a hospital room, that her perspective shifted. When your body is broken, the zeros in your bank account mean nothing. You cannot bribe your bones to heal faster. You have to endure. This accident, and subsequent others later in life, gave her a grit that the public rarely sees. It taught her that life is fragile. It reinforced her desire to leave a mark that was spiritual, not just financial. She realized that while her father built a legacy of consumption, she wanted to build a legacy of contemplation. As the family business grew into a global monster, devouring competitors and reshaping the American economy, the pressure on the children intensified. Her brothers stepped into executive roles. They became the face of the corporation. She, however, stepped back. She worked briefly as a buyer for the company, but it didn't stick. She tried her hand at finance, founding an investment bank. She was successful, yes, but her heart wasn't in the ledger books. She faced criticism. The The media labeled her the absent heir. They called her the one who just spent the money while the others made it. They mocked her brushes with the law and her turbulent driving record. For a long time, she was the black sheep in the eyes of the tabloids. But she was playing a long game, a game nobody else understood. She began quietly acquiring masterpieces, not just to hoard them in a private vault in Switzerland, but with a specific vision. She saw that the great art of America was locked away in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. The people in the heartland, the very people who shopped at her family's stores, were cut off from culture. She decided to change that, and she would do it with a checkbook that had no limit. In 2011, she unveiled her masterpiece. It wasn't a new superstore, it was a museum. Located in a ravine in her hometown of Bentonville, Arkansas, she built a structure that defied logic. Critics laughed when she announced it. They said, "Who will go to Arkansas for art?" They called it museum. They underestimated her. She spent hundreds of millions of dollars buying iconic American art. When she bought Asher B. Duran's Kindred Spirits for over $35 million, the New York art world gasped. They were angry. They felt she was stealing culture from the elites. But she didn't care. She believed that a farmer in Arkansas deserved to see a Warhol just as much as a banker in Manhattan. Today, her museum is considered one of the finest in the world. It is free to the public. Her endowment ensures it will remain free forever. She took the profits of retail and transmuted them into beauty. She proved that she wasn't just a spender. She was a visionary curator. She turned her hometown into a cultural capital, single-handedly changing the economy of the region. Now, in her 70s, she lives a life of carefully guarded privacy. She resides mostly on her ranch in Texas, breeding cutting horses. She is known to be down to earth, often driving her own truck, wearing jeans, and speaking with a thick southern drawl that disarms people. Yet, the contradictions remain. She is a woman of immense privilege who has faced immense physical pain. She is the daughter of a penny pincher who spends millions on canvas and oil. She is a recluse who built a public square for millions of visitors. She has never married the business, but she married the legacy. She holds over $100 billion in stock, yet her greatest asset is her eye for detail. She showed the world that you don't have to follow the path your parents laid out for you, even if that path is paved with billions. You can forge your own trail, even if it leads you into a ravine in the Ozarks. She is the wealthiest woman on the planet. Her last name is synonymous with American retail. Her father founded the store where millions shop every single week. She built the Crystal Bridges Museum of American Art. She is the quiet power behind the blue vest. She is the rebel heir. Do you know who she is? If you figured it out, drop her name in the comments below. And if you were inspired by her story of turning pain into purpose and retail profits into timeless art, make sure to like this video and subscribe.